Let's get a beanie. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? This is going to be a very powerful live. Um, I don't think anybody is going to want to miss this. For a while, I've been really caught up in entertainment shit. And I think now it's time for people to be educated. Okay. Now, as you can see, as the title of this live is called Exposing the Elite. Now, we all know it's election year. We know that a lot of shit is going on. A lot of shit is going on. And because a lot of shit is going on, I think it's time that we actually get educated, okay? So the very first thing that I want to say in TikTok, let me tell everybody on TikTok now, because I might get join my live on YouTube, because I might get banned on TikTok for saying what I'm about to say, okay? I want to let you know that if you are melanated, let me say this one more time. If you are melanated, you should be weary of the religious beliefs that you have. And I'm gonna be real careful about this. Okay? That religion that is the most popular religion in America is not for you if you are melanated. Christianity is not it. It's not. It's not. And let me tell you why I'm saying this, okay? Christianity and Islam was created for world domination. Okay? It was created for world domination. If you are melanated, you need to go back to your African roots. If you are not in Africa, and if you are in the Caribbean islands, if you are in America, you are here because your ancestors were slaves. That's why you're here. Okay? Now, I'm done playing this influencer game. I am a teacher. I am an educator. I am an artist. But the first thing I am is free-minded. I am not here to believe what everybody wants me to believe. I need y'all to understand that every single artist or entertainer you've been watching, they're a part of the system to distract you. Okay? Let me tell you what music is nowadays. Music is the new drug war. Okay? Let's talk about Juice WRLD. Let's talk about Juice WRLD and how Juice WRLD was completely influenced by Future to take drugs. How many of your siblings you don't even know are listening to these artists and are influenced to try walk, lean, flocka, all these other drugs? They've taken our people, they've made our people, our melanated people, the drug dealers of music. You see, back when rap was first coming out, The rap was a form of rebellion against the system. F the police, da 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 da. But now it's enabling the system. Let's talk about the fact that rap is now promoting materialism. No, we're going to get deep into this. Rap is now promoting materialism. Do you know? Hold on. Do you know that diamonds have no real value? And if you go to all of these diamond shops, do you know who runs these diamond shops? The J Club. The J Club. For all my people who know what I'm talking about when I say the J Club, can y'all please comment it down below because I don't want to say it too much. The J Club. And then the thing about it is the J Club is selling you diamonds, but they don't even wear them. But the J Club is selling black people chains again. The J Club is selling black people chains. Are y'all hearing me? Okay? Do you understand that literally Kanye West talked about the fact that the moment that you say that the J Club runs everything, you know what happens? You become anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic. You get me? And then the funny thing about it is our ancestors were wearing crystals and amulets. Our ancestors were wearing crystals and amulets. But then they sell you diamonds. But then they create Van Cleef, which is crystals, and then sell them back to you at such high prices. Do y'all understand? Van Cleef is crystals sold to you for $5,000. And let's talk about this too. Do y'all understand? Let's talk about college. I know I'm a bit everywhere, but listen, let's talk about college. Let's talk about the fact that college is simply how well you can remember things and recite them back. College does not promote analytical thinking. College does not promote you to think for yourself. It teaches you to remember things and recite them back. So basically, a scholar is a person who can remember random facts the best. Let's talk about it, right? And then let's talk about the fact that college has been used as a form. Back in the day, people are starting to notice it now, but back in the day, people were starting to use college as a form of classism. Classism. So if you had been to college, you were upper class. Upper class. You know, truth be told, they've made you afraid of voodoo. All my melanated people here, they've made you afraid of voodoo. They've made you afraid of your own magic. They have you looking this way. There's something that Cat Williams says. Cat Williams says, they know that this is the truth over here, but they make you look over there and you're wondering why they're still looking over here. It's because if I tell a lie, I still know the truth. And basically what he was saying is that why are non-melanated people so infatuated with melanated people? And they're infatuated with melanated people because they know the truth, even though they told you a lie. They told you that you were nothing. They told you you were savages. They told you you were savages. Right? So I'm reading this book called The Destruction of African Civilizations. And he talks about how he went to Oxford to study, right? And when he went to Oxford, there was a class talking about, I think, the colonialism of African or Africa. And it was only 3 black people in that class. And everybody else was so uncomfortable. But when this teacher, this professor, who really you can tell was more into Britain history or European history, when he talked about African history, he said that Africans were primitive. He said that Africans were savages. And basically that's why the Europeans needed to come to Africa and create a new order. No. You see, I'm done entertaining. I'ma still game and I'ma still play with my supporters, but this is where I'm at with it nowadays. From this point on, my content is educational content. Edutainment. I am here for you to come find the truth. And you know what's crazy? My dear black people, I don't even want to call y'all black. My dear African people. You know how back in the day with slaves, you know, the house slaves had a little more authority, or the house slaves had a little more prestige? Diddy is a house slave. Jay-Z is a house slave. And these people thought that because they had maybe a little more privilege than other melanated people, that meant that they had domination over melanated people. And then what ended up happening is they started acting like the same people that oppressed them. You got Jay-Z putting Tory Lanez in jail. Ego trips, power trips. But that's the thing. These elites know that if we give some of these black people power, we can turn them over to us. Just like history repeats itself. Just like the white people paid the black people to go capture more black people. Drake, you mean the man that's half Jew and half black? You think he don't use that Jew side? You think he don't use that side? All of them want power to be able to dictate who can be successful. They want to be gatekeepers. Fuck the industry, bro, for real. Fuck the industry. So let's talk about why they demonize voodoo. And let's talk about why they demonize hoodoo. Okay? You see, before I get to that, somebody said, what about J-Lo? You see, all these women, and I'm not going to say all of them, but most of those women that was with P. Diddy, Young Miami, you sex worker, Young Miami actually found an ego trip. She found satisfaction out of having control and power like that. And that's why these people lose themselves. Because when they start to see that the favoritism is towards them, they start to feel it. They start to, I got more power than this person. I got more money. That's what happens. When you give these people power, they forget what side they're really on, because all they ever wanted was the money. I'm drinking some tea right now. Y'all go ahead and get y'all tea from my crystal shop, manhurst.com. That's another thing. So let's get into it. Why voodoo is demonized. So, exactly, Vlad. If y'all ever watched the show Lovecraft Country, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I've actually watched this TV show on stream before. Lovecraft Country literally was the epitome of what's happening in today, but people wouldn't know. Do you know that they took the slaves' magic and used it against them? Let's see if we can pull something up. They took the slaves' magic and used it against them. And then they demonized the people the black people who were using the magic. Look, this is my video right here. Hold on. This is my video right here.
What do you know
Check it out.
Magic? Fantasy books?
Hold on, y'all know y'all can't hear. Hold on, look.
Boria nie mudny nic. Samym zdoborem zabor. Zdusi manana na shiki. Stella kundu mixa tanan sansela. Lamustin sarumak.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Bombaclat!
What do you know?
And the reason why I'm showing y'all this is because they talk about the truth is right in your face sometimes. The truth is right in your face, but they don't want you to know how powerful you are. Because the moment that you know how powerful you are, the moment that they're able to be defeated by you. Right? Now, what I want to tell you is the reason why voodoo was demonized was because it was actually used to win the Haitian War in Haiti. Right? And after the Haitians won the war, the slave masters, the slave owners, hold on. Here we go. Let me say it one more time. So, what happened that caused voodoo to be demonized and your magic to be demonized? Let me tell you what happened. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Okay, great. Let me tell you what happened. The Haitian people won a war using their magic. And it's so funny because in the black community, we are so scared of Haitians. Oh, they Haitian, they this. We don't even realize that we're being racist towards our own people. We're having prejudice towards our own people. And the reason why you've picked up on this prejudice is because they fed you this. They told you that when the Haitians won the war, they started to demonize the magic because they didn't want other people who were enslaved in the North to start using the same thing. So what they did was, let's talk about this. What they did was they created, you got Greek gods. You got Greek gods, right? You got these Greek gods. Do you know that these Greek gods, even the 7 angels, let me show you. Let me show my people on Instagram. These Greek gods, all of these gods are from the Orishas. They're from the Orishas. They're from the Orishas. Even then, the Egyptian gods, they're all connected. Somebody said, or do you think Egyptians were black? Oh, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. They said, do I think that let's talk about that, right? This is something that Cat Williams talked about. The Egyptians were, of course, black. The Egyptians were black, but let me tell you what they did. They broke off the noses. They broke off the noses of the Egyptians. Somebody said everybody claiming this Yoruba religion now don't even know what it is. I want to say to you that my name is of Yoruba descent. But I'm going to tell you that do not be one of those people that you don't allow your people to learn about it because you have some type of leverage because you knew it earlier. Don't be one of those people. Do not be one of those people. You should be encouraging your people to learn about the history. Don't be one of those people that feels like only you can practice it or only the people who... No, you should be encouraging your people to learn about their history. Like, listen to what you're saying. Everybody claiming this Yoruba religion don't even know what. Listen to yourself. You sound like you're trying to be an elitist within the spirituality because you knew it before people. No, you should be trying to get our melanated people, as many of them, to learn about their ancestors. Somebody said, it ain't like that, but people is using religion like it's a fashion phase. That's your opinion. What's happening is that people are becoming more aware of it. So it's becoming more popular. Come on now. I think it's important for our people to make our spirituality as popular as Christianity is. What are you talking about? You should want your people, like, what are we talking about? You get what I'm saying? So, somebody said, like, these rappers are now bigging up this Yoruba religion. These rappers saying Ashe, Ashe, and people is just following. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Rappers are now bigging up this Yoruba. Do you know that if the rappers who are one of the main influencers of our communities are now starting to tap into African spirituality, that is a win. Because that means that they're most likely less influenced by the elites. Listen to yourself. That's like you getting mad if everybody start learning about astrology and numerology. Why are you mad about that? Why do you feel a type of way? Do you feel like you get some type of prestige because you know about it and other people don't? I thought the whole point was for us to enlighten our people. Come on, man. Now, back to what I was saying. The Egyptians are definitely black. But this is what they do. This is something Cat Williams say. You get all these statues, right? And the only thing that you take off of the statue is the nose. That's the only thing that you decide to destroy. The only thing that you decide to destroy is the nose. Why is that? And this is what Cat Williams say. Cat Williams say, because you cannot. A nigga nose is a nigga nose. A nigga nose is a nigga nose. Why is it that the only thing you took off was the nose? Do you know so many times people were literally trying to make us think that these new Arabs, these new light mulatto skinned people are the real Egyptians. Like when you look at all of these new Egyptian movies, all of the Egyptian movies have these super light skinned people. I understand what you mean, don't matter. I understand what you mean. But that's not what we're talking about in this one. You feel me? These light-skinned people playing Africans, they know what they're doing. They're trying to misinform you. They are trying to take over the African race and make us think that that's not us. That's not us. The Sumerians were black. The Arabs originally were black. They were originally black. And what they do is they don't want us to know about the things that we've done. They don't want us to know about the things that we've done. Black people invented writing. They invented writing. All of our black people, African people, were at the top of science. They were at the top of science, but nowadays, all of the scientists are white. How did this happen? And what they do is they erase your history. So what they do is, let me tell you how they erase your history. They have attacked the education system. They have attacked the education system. When you go to learn about Africans in any college, any school, everything they tell you about is them as slaves. They were kings before they were slaves. They were royalty before they were slaves. Kingdoms. They had their own government. We did get invaded. We got invaded. And what they did was they told the slaves, you cannot read anything. You cannot educate yourself on anything but the Bible. But the Bible, do you know Christianity is one of the top businesses in America? And now we have all our black people moving to Islam, as if Islam is any different than Christianity. Islam is another version of world domination like Christianity. I'm sorry to tell you that. They got all our black people moving to promote. Y'all peep that they're getting all our people to promote Islam? Somebody said, y'all forgot the richest person in the world was once an African person and now it's white people. But if we was to mention that, we would then become anti-Semitic. Now y'all understand why they've been trying to knock out Kanye West. Because Kanye West has been educating himself. Now y'all see why they took out Michael Jackson. And they had to tell us that Michael Jackson was a pedophile. Michael Jackson wasn't no pedophile. Michael Jackson had power. My thing is, in an industry full of pedophiles, why you choose Michael Jackson to out? When Clive Davis, Lucian Grange, all of these people were pedophiles. But you decided to talk about Michael Jackson. Because Michael Jackson started talking about black versus black and white. But Michael Jackson started talking about they don't really care about us. And they said, oh no, we got to stop him. We got to stop him. Religion was used as a weapon. Religion was used as a weapon. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how they continuously steal from African people. Let's talk about it, right? So let's look at copycat Christianity. Let's look at copycat Christianity. Let's look at this. Let's look at this, right? Let's look at that, right? Y'all see that, right? Y'all see that, right? Okay. Now, let's go to a spirituality that was before this. No, not ISIS. Let's talk about it. 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 And then the thing about it is we talk about, so somebody just said, we've been claimed R. Kelly was sus. They got him. Do you know how many elites were funding these sus people? The Diddies? You see, there's a difference. There's a difference between being a pedophile, right? Or being completely disgusting with sexual energy, right? And being fed more power by the elites because they want those type of people to represent our black community. Because those people are easily controlled. They don't want black people who are enlightened in power. They want black people who they can, what's the word? Not contaminate, but infiltrate. You got to remember the drug war, they gave the black people, the African people, they gave them the drugs and say, yo, go put this in the streets. See, one thing that y'all don't know about the elites will grab this side of the map and grab this side of the map and cause them to battle and watch it. So they will fund the They will fund the plugs, fund the drugs, and then they will fund the police and watch the battle. They set up traps. So let's get back to it. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Is this not the same thing? Like they copied it bar for bar. They copied it bar for bar. Bar for bar. Bar for bar. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Bar for bar. Like they couldn't even. And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? We can go to Africa and see parts of the history. Where's the cross? Where's the cross that Jesus died on? Where's the cross? Where's the cross that Jesus died on? Where's his clothes? Where's his monuments? Where's his history? All we have is folk tales of this guy who's supposed to be our savior. Can anybody find me the cross? But we can find the pyramids. We can find the statues. They burnt down the libraries, but we're still looking at Egypt like, whoa, what's going on? They want us to believe that the white people developed light and they found light. The Egyptians, let me show you, the Egyptians discovered light. The Egyptians discovered light. The Egyptians discovered light. That's all I'm saying. They were very smart. Hold on, let me show you. Let me show you from all people. The Egyptians discovered light. They want you to think that yoga was found in India. Yoga was found in Asia. Yoga was found in Africa. Everybody is eating off of Black history, African history. But then try to make us seem like we're worthless. Do you know our kids don't even know how powerful they are? Don't even know how powerful they are. Why is there not more African people in power? Because they don't want it that way. They don't want it that way. They don't want it that way. Let's talk about it. Hold on. So the reason why we're talking about all of this is because, number one, you can only know how powerful you are by first looking at history and knowing where you come from. If you don't know where you come from, how will you ever know where you're going? Come on. If you don't know where you come from, how are you ever going to know where you are going? And I wore lapis lazuli for this live. And I covered my head on this live because I knew that I was coming on here to say some things that I know some people would not like. Some elites, they don't want this to be out there. And that's another thing. Make sure y'all learn to cover your heads. This is an African practice to cover your head. Your head is your crown. Your head is your ori. And it's funny because people will literally rub on your head to take your energy. People will rub on your head to take your power. People will put things in your... That's why you have to protect your head. Why do you think Erykah Badu was always going to those BET Awards with those head wraps? You get what I'm saying? Boom. Let's talk about it. So this is what I was talking about with the yoga. Yoga. Hold on, not that. The yoga poses. The yoga poses. Ha! Come on, man. The history is there. The history is there. The history is there. The history is there. Oh, people want to talk about BET, Black Entertainment Television, but it's ruled by white people. Come on now. So they are putting out what black people are consuming. The history is there. Listen, if you have not yet, make sure you guys join the mystery school because it's about to get serious. Somebody said, I thought our people were all around the world originally and not just Africa. They took the reason why a lot of our people ended up all around the world, like on the islands, was number one, because of slave. And then they raped our people to create light skins, mulatto people, Hispanics, Latin people. They moved us. Thank you. They moved us. And then you know what they did after they moved us? They infiltrated our land. They infiltrated our land after they moved us. Took all our resources. Let me tell you something. I no longer support designer clothing. If it's not black owned, and it's this, I'm not supporting designers. You see this right here, what I got on? This is one of my supporters. Because why would I support designers, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, when they stole their prints? Let's talk about it. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up. Let's talk about it. Y'all don't even know. Oh, look, they don't got it up. They done took it off. This print right here that y'all see, it's African. It's African. And you know what's funny? They use these designers as a form of classism. Do y'all understand that this classism is an easy way for them to do racism all over again? Because guess what? Obviously, they've taken away black people's resources, African people's resources. And then you know that y'all done made the white people wealthier. So instead of doing plain old racism, you started doing classism. The richer people have more privilege, but y'all put yourselves there. You get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying? Somebody said, not all white people are bad, though. Got to remind people at the end of the day, truth is always good and lies always evil. I'm not making the argument of not all white people are bad. Obviously, but that's not what this live is about. That's not what this live is about. But at the end of the day, white people have to be educated. Because if they're not educated, they're playing into the game themselves without knowing it. And that's the thing. A lot of white people aren't aware that a lot of their beliefs or a lot of their habits or the way that they think about things is because of their ancestors. And they may not be they may not be point blank racist, but they won't understand that some of their ways is rooted in racism. It's rooted in racism. You get what I'm saying? Like, I see a lot of black men marrying white women and giving, like I saw this African man named Agunsi or something like that. That was his last name. Married a white woman. And now this white woman has an African last name. You know what I'm saying? This, you know, and it's like, it's funny because let's look at the Kardashians. Let's look at the Kardashians, how they have completely attacked successful black men. They've completely gone after successful black men as a form of power. And then they do this Get Out. Kanye West said it himself, Get Out was about him. It was about him. I dated a white woman before. And let me tell you something. I am with a African queen right now. And let me tell you something. When I was with this white woman, she wasn't racist. She wasn't no kind of way. But you have to understand, I was a kid. I was 19 years old. But one thing I learned was that when I started to learn about her history, and I started to learn about my history, she did nothing wrong. I want to let y'all know she did nothing wrong to me. But when I started to learn about her history and where she was from, it started to make me look at things differently. You know what I'm saying? Your people enslaved my people. Now, y'all gotta understand that you have ancestors. You don't know what dating people outside of your race is doing to your ancestral family, your ancestral lineage. You don't know if their ancestors are attacking your ancestors. You don't know. But all I know is that I went to my ancestors, my Orishas, and I said, show me the truth of my love. And guess what? If they've never been loyal or fair, what makes you think that these people are going to be fair to you? I'm not telling you that you can't work with white people. I'm not telling you that all white people are bad. I'm not telling you that at all. You get what I'm saying? Somebody said, if you focus too much in the past will conquer you at an endless cycle. I don't have to focus on the past for the past to be an endless cycle. That's called history repeats itself. But the way you learn is through the past. You have to reflect. Don't tell me to not look at the past when all they've been trying to do is make me forget about the past. Don't do that. The truth, you may not like the truth. You may not like how dirty it is. You may not like the fact that they did that to us. But until you can learn about the history, you cannot overcome it. We should focus on what we can do to make change. We have to become aware of what the fuck we're changing first. You cannot say, oh, forget about the past. You sound like them. Do you know how long ago? Do you understand that 1960? 1970? Let's not forget in 1995. 1995, the Ku Klux Klan marched in Indiana. You get what I'm saying? Somebody said angels don't look at race the same way humans do. Your ancestors don't care if they earned salvation. You can't tell me about what my ancestors. You cannot tell me about. You mean to tell me? That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not telling you to be fuck black people. Fuck black white people. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you to learn about your history. That's what I'm telling you. And the only way you can learn about your history is by learning how you were attacked. Because the attack is still happening. In case you thought slavery was over, it's not. Slavery has changed the way it looks now. Slavery is classism now. Slavery is religious wars now. We have to be real with ourselves. Y'all want to talk about love and light. Everything is love and light. Love everybody. Love everybody. I'm not saying don't love everybody. But let me tell you something. Your ancestors weren't love and light. They were warriors. They were warriors. And slavery is not physical no more. They make you hate yourself. Do you know, growing up as a child, people still to this day come on YouTube and talk about how dark I am. But you think that it's over? To this day, people come on my YouTube live and talk about how black I am. But you think it's over? Do you understand that there's a such thing called redlining? That not too long ago, a couple years ago, you couldn't go to a school outside of your zip code because they didn't want people who were in poor areas going to rich schools. Do you know that they check your credit and they check your ability to receive more of a credit line based off of your zip code? Do you know that? Do you know that your zip code is the new classism? You didn't know that, huh? You didn't know that, huh? They want to know where you live because where you live dictates your income. It's a new classism. But it's over, right? Come on now. You get what I'm saying? Somebody say he's focusing on trying to get you all stirred up to be separated from others. Dude, stop creating hatred on social media. So let me ask you this. Me telling the facts is causing hatred? Me talking about history is causing hatred? You see, that's what they tell African people when they start to learn about their history. When you start to learn your history, they say, forget about it. It's the past. You know, 1995 was not too long ago. It was less than 30 years ago, maybe about 30 years ago. That means that somebody who is 40 years old right now, still alive, most likely experienced racism. Do you understand that? Do you understand that there are people, CEOs of companies, that still believe that there is white supremacy? Do you know just recently they stopped telling us that wearing your afro was unprofessional? Do you understand that our natural hair form was deemed unprofessional in workplaces? Who dictated that schools like Harvard or Yale was Ivy League schools? Somebody said, I understand your point, but hate is never the way to move forward. I never told you that I hated white people. Never told you that. Never told you that. Never told you that I hated them. Never told you that at all. Quite frankly, I'm talking about the slave owners. The slave owners. It's like the moment that we start to talk about history, they want to deem us as the ones that have hate. We're the ones that have hate. Because I'm just an angrily black woman, right? I think it's fair that I can educate my people on what happened in the past. Because black people to this day still have mannerisms from when they were slaves. Remember that story about black people who run away when they're laughing? You know why they ran, why black people run when they're laughing, right? Do you guys know the story? Because they weren't allowed to laugh when they were in the cotton fields. They weren't allowed. I'm not even black, and even us Mexicans. You heard what you just said? You're a Mexican. I'm not even black. What? You're not white? What do you think you are? The truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. We all come. Like, it's just crazy that these type of things can be hidden from us. It's just crazy that these type of things can be hidden from us. So the first thing that I'm going to start teaching on my mystery school, I'm going to teach our melanated people and Latin people how to honor their ancestors, how to create an altar. Who are your ancestors? How to speak to your ancestors. Because they don't want you knowing who you are. They don't want you talking to your ancestors. They want you to think that that is demonic. While they're taking your practices, do you know that in Africa, right? In Africa, there is a practice of cleansing yourself with a chicken, right? There's a practice of cleansing yourself with a chicken. Do you know that the Jewish people have taken that practice and they take the chicken and they throw the chicken at the railroad? Let's look it up. 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 Hold on. It is called... Hold on. This is African, baby. This right here is African. This is African. This is African. 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 Y'all didn't know that the Jewish people are literally taking African practices and telling you, hey, look over there, that's demonic, don't do it. But then doing it for themselves to get ahead. These elites are using numerology and astrology to get ahead, but then making it demonized to you. Like, I don't understand how you don't see how powerful you are. I don't understand how you don't see how powerful you are. But how are you ever going to step into your power if you don't know your power? That's my question. How are you ever going to step into your power if you don't know your power? That's the point. As long as you don't know how powerful you are, you will always think that you are the scum of the earth. You will always think that you are the lower class. You will always think that you were never powerful. That's why knowledge is power. That's why knowledge is power. That's why. That's why. So, the reason why we're talking about this is because we need to be educated on what's going on. I need y'all to start looking into where you're actually from. Where your people from? Are you from Jamaica? Are you from Haiti? Are you from... Start asking questions about your ancestors. Start asking questions about your people. Another thing I want to talk about is your diet. That's another thing I want to talk about. Y'all don't even know that... I mean, you know this. Your food has been attacked. Your food has been attacked. They have been attacking that pineal gland in your head. They've been attacking your health. And then the medical system feeds you a medicine that doesn't even heal you. It just puts a Band-Aid over it. COVID-19 was a pure example of how they are tricking you and how this medical system is a business. Now, I know nurses who have literally stated that when COVID-19 happened, that they would try to get as many people on ventilators as possible. Now, the thing about putting people on ventilators is once they get on a ventilator, it's a 90% chance they're never getting off a ventilator ever again. So that means that once you are getting assisted in breathing, you're never going to breathe on your own again. Now, you may say, why did they put them on ventilators? Let's say a patient gets a room in the hospital. For every room that's taken, that's $5,000 to $8,000. But if they are on a ventilator, that's $17,000. Yes, 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 yes. And I remember there was a guy who went viral on YouTube because he quit his job as a surgeon. Hold on. What was his name? Let me see. What was his job? Boom. Right here. I was an MIT. Hold on. I was an MIT educated neurosurgeon. Now I'm unemployed and alone in the mountains. How did I get here? If you guys saw this video. And let me tell you what he said. He said that these surgeries that he was doing to people wasn't really healing them. It would only make the problem better for right now. I'm on a fast right now, y'all. I'm on a fast right now. So that's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. But I was an MIT educated neurosurgeon. Now I'm unemployed. He quit his job. He quit his job. And look, his next video says, I betrayed my true self in a way that hurt me so bad I could not forgive myself for 22 years. He knew he wasn't actually healing people. He knew it. He wasn't actually healing people. They thought they were getting healed. They thought so. It wasn't getting healed. They're not trying to heal you, baby. They're not trying to heal you. So let me tell y'all something. And this is the reason why I really wanted to come on live to talk to y'all. From this point forward, my content and my platform is used to educate. And it's here to move the youth forward. I'm not here to just entertain you. I'm not here to just make you laugh. I want to actually educate you on shit that you was like, wow, I did not know that. I was doing a lot of motivation. But you don't need motivation. Motivation wears off. You need education. You need to know how powerful you actually are. So, from this point forward, I'm going to be doing lectures. I'm going to be teaching neuroscience. I'm going to be teaching health and wellness. Teaching people how to get to their peak in health through different herbs. The first thing that I sent an email about is moringa. If you struggle with iron, you have low iron, drink moringa. If you need potassium, moringa. If you need B3, moringa. Moringa is the new thing that I'm talking about right now. Okay? If you guys are looking for teas to start consuming, I recommend everyone start drinking tea every day. Start drinking tea every day. Learn how to take care of your body because your body is under attack. They are attacking your nervous system with stress. Do you know that when your nervous system is out of whack, you cannot even think clearly? How could you ever process traumas when your nervous system is constantly being attacked? How can you ever become aware of what's going on inside of you if your nervous system is being attacked? Your dopamine being attacked. You can't even read a book for 20 minutes without you checking your phone. That's a problem. You have a problem. That's all I'm going to say. And if you are interested in learning more about the history, because the first thing that I'm going to teach is ancient civilizations, teaching about the Egyptian ancient civilization, teaching about Nigeria, teaching about the Sumerians. That's the first thing that I am teaching on the mystery school. Okay? The first thing that I'm teaching on the mystery school. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my other phone. I can't find my other phone. I can't find my other phone for some reason. But if you are looking to join my mystery school and you're looking to learn these type of things, where I'm talking about ancient spirituality, if we're talking about neuroscience, if we're talking about all these different things that they've been hiding from you, let's talk about the history of the Jews. Let's talk about that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the YouTube chat for my people who are looking to join. If you're on Instagram, you can DM me. Hold on. I'm going to put out a lecture today. I am putting out a lecture today. All right, I just want to let y'all know. And today's lecture is going to be ancient civilizations. We're first going to start off with Egypt. I think that's the only right thing to do. And they talk about how Egypt only was, 6,000 years old? When Egypt is actually 65,000, if not older than that. They even try to make it seem like Egypt isn't as old as it is. That's the crazy thing about it. Y'all go ahead and check out the mystery school. I just put it in the YouTube. Is your school live like this? I can go live in my school. Yes. I can go live in my school. So some of the things that I talked about in the school, the first thing that I talked about was the Kemetic principles. You see, the reason why the white people have a type of control over us is because they have a level of wisdom over us that we don't know. Somebody said that cap. Yes, this cap has numerology on it. You know what I'm saying? So they have a wisdom over us. They understand how to work energy. They understand how to put black people outside of their energy. They know how to make people work against their energy. And when you're working against your energy, how can you ever find wealth? How can you ever find success? That's why I said I am no longer going to come on here and make fucking videos to make you laugh. No. I'm going to make you laugh, but I'm going to educate you because that's what they don't want to happen. They don't want people to know their truth. They don't want people to know who they really are. They don't want people to know who they really are. So let's talk about the fact of how they attack your mentality, okay? Number one, these working environments and these working situations. These working environments and these working situations are putting you in survival mode. They're putting you in lizard brain, all right? They're putting you in lizard brain. So that way, when you come home, you're always in survival mode. Some of y'all don't realize that when you work with your boss, you're like, don't even understand what that's doing to your brain. Your brain has not felt safe in so long. Your brain has not felt safe in so long, bro. All I'm trying to do is make you aware of how powerful you are. Okay? There is a book that I'm going to start breaking down. There's this one book that I'm reading, the Destruction of Ancient Black Civilizations. Destruction of Ancient Black. Let me show y'all. This is the book right here. This is the book right here. Boom. 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 These new locks that's becoming popular. These new locks that's becoming popular. The King Von locks. We've been doing that. We've been doing that. Don't let these white people touch your hair. Don't let these people touch your hair. So y'all make sure y'all read that. Another thing I want to talk about is how they've even demonized animals. Let's talk about it. They've even demonized animals. How you demonize a black cat? How you demonize snakes? Well, let's talk about it. Why did they demonize snakes? Why did the Bible, the first story of the Bible, talk about how snakes were bad and that you shouldn't take the fruit from the snake, or you shouldn't, and it's funny because our phone, the forbidden fruit, you got an Apple. It's funny. The most popular company damn near in the world has the forbidden fruit on the back. But this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to talk about. Let's talk about this. Now we getting into a lecture. Listen, y'all. If y'all are enjoying this, my people on Instagram, I really recommend that y'all come on YouTube because you can see what I'm showing. Join my YouTube. The link is in the bio. But let's talk about this, okay? We're about to get into a lecture right now. The serpent. And how they have demonized the serpent. Now, you know what's interesting? In Africa, the serpent is a symbol of enlightenment. And the only way you could become a pharaoh is you had to be crowned with a uraeus. And I talk about this a lot. If you're in the mystery school, you know what I'm talking about. You had to be crowned with the uraeus. The uraeus symbolizes the king, divine authority, sovereignty, royalty, supremacy, protection of Pharaoh, used as a hieroglyph. But let's get deeper into it. The reason why they put the serpent on the third eye was to symbolize Kundalini. Because if you look at the spine, you tell me what the spine looks like. And the spine is the magic wand of our body. The spine is where our energy flows. You know what's interesting? The way that snake was wrapped around the tree in Genesis looks very similar. Like I said, for everybody here on Instagram, I recommend that y'all join my live in the YouTube so you can see what I'm showing. It's Kundalini. That's why do y'all think that when you start having these freaky situations with your partner, why you get this type of like sensation in your brain? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Do y'all know what I'm talking about when you have this after you've reached a level of I'm trying to be careful with my words. When you can y'all comment it down below? When you you know what I'm saying? When you have this like sensation in your brain. And you're like, whoa, like you get these chills, like that's that sexual energy flowing to the brain. But now think about this. You also get that same sensation when you receive information that triggers your brain. Okay? All right. So now let's go back to it. Let's go back to it. The serpent deceived me. Interesting. Interesting how the serpent deceived you in the Bible, but in Africa, the serpent was the sign of knowledge and wisdom. And what was the serpent trying to give the human? Wisdom. But basically, what the Bible has taught you already in the first story is that you should not be seeking wisdom. You should just follow what you're told. That. And a human is naturally going to be curious. And for that curiosity, they were punished. Now, look at how this snake is wrapped around this tree. Let's talk about how the serpent is wrapped around the tree. The tree of life. The tree of life. The tree of life. Do you see how they're already putting you against energy? Do you see how they're already putting you against energy? They're already putting you against the energy of enlightenment. The tree of life. The tree of life. The tree of life. The tree of knowledge. And you know what's funny? In Chinese astrology, the serpent is the wisest sign. But let's think about it, right? You know what else they demonized in Egypt? Black cats. Black cats. Not Egypt. They didn't demonize it in Egypt, but they demonized black cats. You know why they demonized black cats? Because black cats protect your spirit. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to make people scared of black cats. So that way they don't get them. So that way they don't have protection. We're gonna demonize black cats so that way they don't look into Egypt. And then when they do look into Egypt, they're gonna say, black cats, snakes, it's evil. Why do you think even Sabrina the witch had a black cat? Why do you think that? 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 The black cat is magical. But it's funny, you want to demonize the black cat. Right? But let's also talk about the fact that the black cat is a deity in Egypt. It's a deity in Egypt. But look, you see how they got a white woman playing this show. Sabrina the cat, the witch. They got a white woman playing the show with the black cat. You think that was coincidental? Not at all. Why not a black woman? It's not coincidental. Also, let's talk about how in the Matrix, they bring up the black cat. Come on. This is not a coincidence. Everything is symbolism. Do you know that black cats are watchers? Let's talk about it. The black cats in Egypt were watchers. They're like police. The black cats. A beautiful gift in Egypt was a litter of cats. Black cats are very special. Let's talk about the fact that black cats alone purify. Black cats alone purify energy. Let's check this out. Black cats have been revered for centuries as guardians against evil spirits and evil spirits. In ancient Egypt, black cats were actually worshipped, and killing one was considered a serious crime. Okay, now let's talk about that, right? Killing a black cat was a serious crime, right? Let's talk about that. Right? I don't know if you guys know. See, look. You guys can't even tell. But the Hogwarts game, in the Hogwarts game, you couldn't kill a cat. The cats were indestructible. Look, Hogwarts Legacy makes cats invincible because people kept attacking them. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. You cannot kill a cat in a game. And then look at how this says right here. In ancient Egypt, black cats were actually worshipped, and killing one was considered a serious crime. During the Middle Ages in Europe, black cats were thought to be the companions or familiar of witches. This myth led to the mass extermination of black cats at the time. Who exterminated the cats? The Europeans. The Europeans. However, some saw black cats as protectors against the evil associated with witchcraft. Sailors in particular adopted black cats as their ship's cats, believing that they brought good luck and protected against storms. If a black cat walks into your home or adopts you, it may be a sign that you have a spiritual protector and guardian. Come on now. They defend your house. They shield your energy. Do you know every time that I was sad, or every time that I was scared, every time I had a bad dream, and I'm telling y'all right now, every time I had a nightmare, my cat would get on the bed and purify the energy. And then you wonder why your cats are sleeping so much. It's because they took on so much of that energy that when they go to sleep, they release it. Every time I had a negative dream, a scary dream, my cat will come. And if my cat wasn't in the room, she would come on the door, meow. It's like they know. And then they say cats have 9 lives, right? They say cats have 9 lives. They also say cats can see into 9 dimensions. They also say cats can see into 9 dimensions. Listen, y'all, I told you, these lives are about to get deep. These lives are about to get deep. And what I want y'all to do right now, if you have not yet signed up for the Mystery School, click the link that's pinned here on YouTube. Click the link and go ahead and sign up for the Mystery School. If you can't find the link, all you need to do is just DM me and I'll send you the link. Make sure you guys sign up for the Mystery School, because the Mystery School is about to take a whole new turn. Okay? So what y'all think about this? Like, what do y'all think about where we headed with the content? How y'all feel about it? Also, the magnetism class is about to take another deep turn too, because this is what I'm about to start doing. I'm also going to start image consulting, right? And what that means is that I am going to teach about the herbs, the supplements, the type of diets that's going to cause you to have glowing skin. We're going to talk about the different type of chemicals, good chemicals that you should be using for your skin. We're going to talk about all the things that help you have a more radiant energy. Yoga, saunas, how often you should be in the sauna, why the sauna purifies your energy and removes the toxins out of your bodies. I'm going to start opening up mentorships with people where you can literally do one-on-ones with me. Show me what you look like and I'll show you how to transform. A lot of y'all don't understand that. Look, when's the last time that y'all seen me with a pimple? When's the last time you've seen me with a pimple? High frequencies are really good for the skin. It's because of my diet. The tea. Do y'all know moringa also helps with your skin? You feel me? Another thing I want to talk about too is make sure you guys go ahead and check out the crystal shop. Now that you are more aware of what these crystals can do to protect you, the one crystal that I really recommend for all the people that are looking for protection, lapis lazuli, baby. Lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli. This is the one that I'm wearing right now. Get your crystals. Start protecting yourself. Start getting more into your spiritual practice and not so much into this. Somebody said, is that a zit? Never, baby. Never. Never. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Start getting into your spiritual practices. Start learning about them. For example, one of my favorite crystals to use right now is clear quartz. Why is clear quartz one of my favorite crystals to use? That is literally, I don't have clear quartz on right now. I had one on. But that is literally one of the best crystals to use for amplification of your own energy. Come here. Look, my cat just walked in the room. You heard me talking about cats? Look, Cash just walked in the room. Hey, baby. Hey. You want some attention? So the link is in the bio, manhurst.com. Yeah, moringa literally is like the key. Also, if you want to get tea from me, I actually have my own tea. So make sure you guys go ahead and get that tea. This is immunity tea to protect from sicknesses, to help with stress. I'm telling you. Elderberry is especially good for immunity. You get what I'm saying? Now, this is the time now if you're like, hey, Ori, can you help me figure out what is the best thing for me to use when it comes to my health? What is the best thing for me to use to protect my spirit? Like, for example, if you're around a lot of technology, shungite. If you're around a lot of technology, shungite. As you can see, I have shungite right here by my setup. Okay? So make sure y'all go ahead and get y'all crystals. Get your bracelets. We got a bunch of bracelets. So yeah, man. Link is in the bio, manhurst.com. Let me comment it on the YouTube. There y'all go. It feels good to be talking about real shit. You know what I mean? It feels good to talk about real shit. Real shit. You feel me? Like I said, if you have any questions, DM me on Instagram, DM me on TikTok, and I'm here to help. All right. Now, I want y'all to ask me, hey, Ori, what's good for protecting myself from negativity? I'm going to tell you right now. One of the best crystals to use to protect yourself from negativity, I'm going to say hematite. Is definitely a good. This one right here is really good for protection right here. You can tell, look at it. It looked like some type of like shield. It looks like a shield. This is the one, EMF protection. Shields from harmful electromagnetic fields. So you guys may say, what is EMF? 5G, microwaves, technology. Y'all know that technology is hurting us, but you can protect yourself from it. Clear quartz is an amplifier. So this is one that I definitely recommend to protect yourself. This is kind of similar, but this one has a quartz at the end of it, a different type of quartz. It's a little bit smaller. These are bigger, and then these are smaller. That's why this is cheaper, because the beads are smaller. Okay. What else can I say? Tiger's eye is also really good for protection. If you deal with a lot of overthinking or a lot of like, you deal with your head being attacked, I would recommend labradorite. Labradorite is a great crystal to use to protect your head. You can sleep with labradorite. Sleeping with labradorite will definitely help you if you struggle with overthinking. Another one for overthinking, I would say, is amethyst. Amethyst. Ease your mind. Amethyst. Super 7. If you're born on the 7th, if you're born on the 7th, if you're born on the 16th, if you're born on the 25th, or you're a 7 life path, Super 7. Super 7, Super 7, Super 7. Okay. The colors also let you, hey, what do you think is the higher self and how do you communicate with it to learn more about yourself? I think that the higher self is, it's self-explanatory, your highest version of yourself. And I think the way that you communicate with it is by starting to communicate with your lower self. The more that you communicate with your lower self, the more that higher self is going to communicate with you. And if I'm born on the 11th, the main one that I recommend, flower agate, great for emotions. Ruby zoisite. Ruby zoisite is great for emotions. This one right here. As you can see, the first thing it says is emotional healing. Emotional healing. Emotional healing. Emotional healing. All right. Emotional healing. I'm down to actually watch some shit now. Let's watch some shit now. I'm intrigued. I'm ready to watch some shit. Yeah, get the Ruby zoisite. Get the Ruby zoisite. The Ruby zoisite will be really good for you. So somebody said, you're welcome. You're welcome. No, I don't. Hold on, y'all. We about to watch some stuff. Chilling like a villain. You funny. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. We're going to get into it. I hope y'all ready. We about to get into it. Okay.
The main thing they want you to believe is the supernatural is not real. Why has that been so important for 80 years? For you to convince me the supernatural is not real? The obvious answer is, well, because they sort of know they're working for supernatural forces, actually. And I think that's probably true. I talked to people who I thought had firsthand knowledge, and I talked to a number of them. And then I was like, whoa, I'm out. And the last couple of years I've been like, holy, they're the only people who know what's going on. So that's the conclusion I've reached. I'm usually pretty curious. I've stopped being curious about this because I don't want to know anymore. But I think I know. I think I know what's up. And only the Bible readers are prepared to understand it.
Tucker Carlson steps into the Sean Ryan Show to expose some disturbing truths. Known for his credibility and direct access to influential figures, Tucker has conducted interviews with top-tier personalities, including the president of Russia. He hints at having uncovered a very frightening reality through these high-level interactions, insights he is about to share. Please pay close attention as Tucker Carlson reveals what he's discovered about the forces shaping our world. Let's listen to what Tucker has to say.
The fact that anyone would even consider getting within 1,000 miles around with a nuclear exchange just shows you that the core impulse here is, that's what all of this is. And that's why I personally think it's spiritual. I think it's, the word demonic is suddenly being overused. It's everywhere because it's real. But yeah, if you see a human movement that's anti-human, the push toward nuclear war, for its own sake, is by definition anti-human, I would say. AI is anti-human by definition. Anti-human by definition. Transhumanism is anti-human. Do people act against their own long-term interests? Probably not, actually. So it's probably not human. Very simply, trying to reduce it to its most basic elements, and like any movement that's anti-human is probably not human, is it?
Probably not.
Did dogs act against their own collective interest? Do caribou? Do porcupines? Do single-cell amoeba? Do sea cucumbers? No, none of them do. No animal does that because it's not natural. Animals are part of nature. They do natural things. People are subject to the supernatural, so they do things that are not natural, like themselves. That's why we're the only species that does itself. So when you yourself, whether slowly or all at once, you're being acted on by forces outside of you.
Wow.
Spiritual forces, obviously.
I think this makes so much sense, especially when you consider the anti-human trends we're seeing today. Remember when Cat Williams talked about similar issues? There are lots of testimonies from celebrities who speak openly about these phenomena, but it's as if we're asleep, unable to grasp the reality because the elites are doing their best to dismiss the supernatural. But as you'll soon find out, the powers that be are working hard to suppress any belief in the supernatural. I'm telling you, after hearing Tucker Carlson, you might just start to believe in the supernatural yourself. There are too many pieces of the puzzle that fit perfectly together. Numerous influential personalities have raised these concerns only to be silenced, ridiculed, and ultimately canceled. Now, let's go back to Tucker.
Kanye.
Here's what I'm really surprised by, and I've actually stopped gathering string on, as we say in reporting, stopped gathering string in this, gathering information, because I'm satisfied that I know enough, and I don't really want to know that much more. Because what I think I know is, this doesn't help me at all to know that. So that's a conclusion I've reached. I'm usually pretty curious. I've stopped being curious about this because I don't want to know anymore.
I love shit like this,
I think I know what's up. So I can't prove it, so probably not going to articulate it, but I think I know what's up, yeah.
Now, things might get a bit weirder here, but I ask you to have a little patience and listen to Tucker all the way through. In just a few moments, he'll explain how he transformed from a skeptic to a believer. The influential figures he's met over the years have all confirmed the startling truths he's about to share. Just imagine, Tucker understands how outlandish this can sound to the average person, whose biggest concern might be their next Amazon purchase. Yet, he chooses to speak openly about these truths because they matter. We need more people like him who dare to tell it as it is. Let's listen to Tucker.
But one thing that you notice about every world religion I'm familiar with, I'm interested in that topic, there are commonalities between religions. But there are commonalities that are very striking between all world religions I'm aware of and all creation myths. And one of them, and this is of course true for Christianity, very true, is that the belief that supernatural beings take physical form. They all believe that, the Greek myths, but that they take physical form, that they're not just like some ethereal, they're not just shadows floating around, specters, fog, that they're physical, like they're as real as the arm of your chair, and that they reproduce with people, immaculate conception. Spirit reproduces with human woman. That's what the story is. And it's described in Genesis as well, in Genesis 6.
Yeah, I know.
Again, it's not just the religion of the ancient Hebrews or the religion of the modern Christians. It's Hinduism as well, and the animist religions, the religions of, to the extent we understand them or know about them, of the American Indians, all the same. So if every culture in the world that we know about, who's left any kind of written or physical record, is reaching the same conclusions about something, maybe there's something there. And maybe it's not so crazy to think that what everyone else has always thought since the beginning of time, which that there is this combination in cases of, human beings and the spiritual realm, whatever that is. I can speak about it with no precision at all because I don't understand the specifics of it, but I know that it has been written about since people have been writing.
I told you this might get a bit weird, but let's really dive into it by examining Genesis 6. The sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Now, with the context Tucker has given us, this verse doesn't just seem like an ancient text. It resonates with real significance. It's intriguing to think that Tucker's understanding of these events comes not from mere speculation, but from conversations with powerful individuals who have had direct, first-hand experiences. Imagine the depth of knowledge held by secret societies and the kind of information that flows through the corridors of power in places like the Vatican. What might they know about the true nature of our world? Tucker tells us that his journey into these discussions has been eye-opening. He has spoken with insiders, learned from them, and was struck by the consistency and gravity of what they disclosed. Let's now turn our attention back to Tucker as he explains how he started these conversations, the types of people he engaged with, and the reactions he encountered. This is where things start to connect, shedding light on the darker, more obscured aspects of our history and reality.
I got really interested in it, and since that is my job, that's literally my job, is to call people and see them and have dinner with them and talk to them, and that's what I've done my whole life. So it's like that's just natural for me. It's not a hobby. It's my profession. I hate to use the word reporting because it's been so discredited by the liars. Oh, we've done a lot of reporting. Here at NBC, we've done a lot of reporting. Liar. You talk to some flack at CIA who told you a bunch of lies, which you're now repeating to me and my kids, so shut up. You've been done reporting. I hate to use the word reporting, but just like satisfying your curiosity by trying to identify who might know, talking to a bunch of people about it, assessing who's telling the truth. Maybe they're wrong anyway, but you can kind of feel whether someone's telling the truth. And there are ways to know, or to get closer to knowing whether someone's telling the truth. And I just talk to a lot of people. And I've done that because I got really interested in it, sort of by accident. I never thought I'd be interested in this at all. And so I talked to a lot of people, and I was really shocked by what credible people told me. They could all be wrong. Of course, I can't prove it, but I became completely satisfied. I'll say that they were not lying, and that they were right or in the vicinity of right. I always assume the details are wrong. I was a police reporter for a while, and you interview someone like a shooting. You've obviously seen shootings, but most people don't see shootings. So you think if you saw a shooting, you'd like remember every detail of the shooting. They get them all wrong. People aren't good at detail. Okay, that's just true. But they are good at themes. They're good at themes. Like, they remember the guy's fat. He may have been 400 pounds, he may have been 280, he was fat. Like, if everyone says the guy was fat, he was fat. I know I don't trust anybody, actually. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my job to trust people, so it's my job to assess whether what they're saying is right or not. So I talked to people who I thought had firsthand knowledge, and I talked to a number of them. And then I was like, whoa, I'm out. Because I don't need to go farther than that. I mean, I think that the real struggles are
What y'all
unseen.
think about this?
That is absolutely a part of Christian theology. I didn't fully appreciate it at all. It's a part of every theology. In fact, it is theology. That is theology. The belief that the real struggles are in the spiritual realm. That has been a constant belief since the beginning of history, recorded history. Everybody has thought that, except us in the West, since 1945. I can't say that enough. So once you get perspective on this question, you're like, okay, that may sound crazy to someone who thinks buying on Amazon is the meaning of life, but to every other person in the world, we may disagree about what the truth is, I'm sure we will, but we will never disagree with the fact that there's a lot going on that we cannot see or measure with our senses. That is absolutely true.
If this is true, and I'm inclined to believe it is, just imagine what it means for our understanding of reality. This could prompt us to reconsider everything we think we know. While it may not be exactly as we've imagined, there's likely some truth in these stories and testimonies. If evil exists, then so must good. And if good exists, choosing it could be our path to making things right. I believe it's that simple. I'll let you draw your own conclusions and decide for yourself what to make of this information. But let's consider this. We might never disagree on the fact that there's a lot happening around us that we cannot see or measure with our senses. This is absolutely true. Consider that humans can see only about 0.005% of the electromagnetic spectrum, known as visible light. Beyond this tiny sliver, there are extensive ranges of wavelengths, from radio waves to gamma rays, that are invisible to the naked eye but affect our world profoundly. Imagine the possibilities that lie in the parts of the spectrum we can't see or directly perceive. What might be happening just beyond our sensory reach? Let's dive back into Tucker's insights as he explores the unseen and unacknowledged forces shaping our existence.
What I find so striking about the UFOs, this is the main takeaway I have, is like, there's this debate like, is this stuff, these phenomena, which are clearly, obviously real. I mean, there's no debate about that. There's a lot that people can't explain in the sky and underwater. We know that. Fact. So the debate is this government technology? Is it from outer space, or is it some spiritual realm here? But what I find so interesting, we know the government's lied about it. They're lying about it now. That's a fact. There's no way around it. They've absolutely lied about it in very elaborate ways. I am really struck, here's my current thinking on it. The main effort that the US government has put into its disinformation, its lying on this topic, has been not to mislead you on the technology. Their main interest is in convincing you that the supernatural is not real. And if you watch, and there are people in the media who specialize in spreading these lies on behalf of the government. I'm not gonna name anybody, but like, once you realize what the point of the exercise is, it's crazy. And I hope you'll assess all the fact-checking and the skepticism on UAPs through this lens. The main thing they want you to believe is that the supernatural is not real. Why is that important to you? Why do you care if I think the supernatural is real? Like, why is that? First of all, why is it, how dare you, as my government, try to get involved in my spiritual beliefs? That's totally not your area, so get out of there, okay, A. But B, why has that been so important for 80 years for you to convince me the supernatural is not real? Why? Why is that? And of course, I can't answer the question, but my gut level response is, well, because if it is real, whatever they're telling you is not real, and if they're punishing you for saying something you know for a fact it's not real, you're not allowed to say that. Oh, not because they don't have no problem with me lying, because they lie for a living. So lying brings no sanction. You can lie all you want. What you can't do is tell the truth. That is a fact.
Wow.
So once you know that, you can sort of reverse engineer their lies and know with some certainty that whatever they're telling you is not true is in fact true. That's exactly the truth. It's exactly the truth. But then you have to ask motive. Like, it's not a profit motive. Like, does it make them rich to deny that there's supernatural forces? No. What is that? And I don't know the answer, but the obvious answer is, well, because they sort of know they're working for supernatural forces, actually. And I think that's probably true. And the US government is millions of people. I'm suggesting that. I'm not saying it because I can't prove it, but I'm suggesting it. And if you're asking whether I believe it, the answer is yes.
As we move deeper into our discussion, Tucker Carlson tackles the pervasive issue of disinformation, a topic that has seen a dramatic rise in our recent history. He delves into how modern narratives are often manipulated, citing examples where truth-tellers face harsh repercussions while deceit often goes unchecked. Take, for example, the recent controversies around whistleblowers in various sectors, from government to the corporate world. These individuals expose harmful truths, yet rather than being heralded for their courage, they frequently face severe consequences. Loss of employment, legal battles, and public vilification. This pattern starkly contrasts with the relative impunity enjoyed by those spreading misinformation or operating under deceitful pretenses. Tucker highlights the psychological manipulation involved when society punishes those who speak the truth and rewards those who perpetuate falsehoods. It creates a disorienting reality. This tactic isn't just about controlling the narrative, it's about altering the very way we perceive truth and ethics. He points out that this isn't a new phenomenon. Historical examples abound, from the vilification of troublemakers who challenge the status quo in scientific and cultural realms, to political figures ostracized for their unorthodox views. The psychological impact on the public's ability to discern truth is profound. When the truth is punished and lies are rewarded, it fosters a culture of skepticism and cynicism, where the real becomes unreal and vice versa. Let's return to Tucker as he explores the consequences of this reality shift, and how recognizing these patterns can empower us to navigate the complex web of modern misinformation.
But I believe that for two reasons. One, because I've told that directly by a couple of people who I think seem knowledgeable. And I attach some weight to that, though not conclusive weight. I don't know, right? I don't know, I wasn't there. Maybe they're super sophisticated liars. Maybe they're telling me the same lie for some reason. Maybe it's all part of a disinformation campaign. All the geniuses on the internet, the really smart kids seem to think it's, oh, you're falling for the disinformation campaign. Okay. Thanks, son.
This is deep. This is deep. I love this type of stuff, though. I love this type of stuff. And I feel like these are the type of things that we need to be learning about. These are the type of things that we need to be learning about. And this is where I'm going to go more into.
Once you begin to see how words and terms and symbols are used, and the powers that be in this world have set up a world of symbols and emblems and terms and catchphrases. Once you understand how this system works, for the first time, the world opens up to you. All of it is right in front of you. But if you don't understand what the words are and what the words mean, you're never going to figure out how this stuff works. There's a very sinister, frightening, interesting symbolism that has been imposed upon this country, and the people have no idea in the world what's going on. And I will guarantee you, no matter how educated you might think you are, I will guarantee you, you have no idea in the world how the world actually works. You need to understand that when even on your check, when you're writing a check, the place where you put your name on a check, look at that line, what you're signing on, and get a magnifying glass, and you will find that's not a solid line to sign your name on. That is written, it's a typewritten sentence that's been honed down to microscopic size. Get a magnifying glass and read on a check what is said where you sign your name. I have discovered many years ago that words and magical systems dominate the world that we live in. There is, in point of fact, a magical matrix at work. I've always been interested in the occult. Occult is simply a word meaning hidden. And so much of our powers in this world and the way things work are hidden. And the more one looks at this subject of how the world actually works, you begin to see that there's a magical system. And I'm telling you, there really
y'all
is
join the
a
mystery
magical
school.
system dominating the world of the Western civilization. And for 1,000 years before the Roman Empire existed in Northern Europe, basically Western Europe, there was a magical priesthood called the Druids. And the Druids still even exist to this day. And it was a very legitimate political, social, educational, religious institution dominating Europe for thousands of years. And they were referred to as the Druids. They were actually from the Phoenician Canaanite system in the Middle East. The Phoenician Canaanites formed the basis for the ancient Druidic system, and that's even older. But in the ancient Druidic system, there were many powerful symbols and emblems. One of the most interesting symbols in Druidism was a magic wand, like Merlin, a magician with his magic wand. Magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. It was made out of Hollywood. And we're still seeing the magic of the wood of the holly tree. Hollywood, motion pictures, television. And once you begin to see the symbols and realize that the symbols for the national coats of arms for countries, the flags, the seals, the presidential seals, the emblems for the logos and emblems on corporate corporations, especially the corporate emblems for motion pictures and television companies like Columbia Broadcasting System. CBS has the eye. The Columbian system goes back to the Columbian faction of the Illuminati back in the early 1700s, not the late 1700s. And you begin to see why Space Shuttle is called Columbia. You have Columbia University, Columbia Pictures, Columbia Broadcasting. Columbia is a very interesting word, and it's connected to the Jesuits. Once you begin to see how words and terms and symbols are used, and of course symbols are extraordinarily important in world affairs, all of a sudden it opens up, as I said, a whole new perspective on how stuff is happening. Let me give you an example of how words, my friend William Henry says you put an S in front of the word word and it becomes swords. The words are swords. They are cutting things. Humans are word responsive creatures. We respond to people's words. When you begin to see how words are used, let me give you an example of the magic. Why do you have to go to court? You go to court because you play basketball on a court. You play tennis on a court. How do you play tennis on a court? You play with a racket. Why? Because the people that develop it know it's a racket. That's where we get the term. Consequently, you need to understand that the words which are used by the systems under which we live are not by chance. In a court, the whole idea in a court is to put the ball back in the other guy's court. So this team of attorneys, they stand up and throw the ball back at the other team. Now the ball's in their court. They have to get up and throw the ball back into that court. The judge wears a black robe. Why does a judge wear a black robe? Well, the same reason Catholic priests wear black robes. Rabbis wear black robes. You wear a black robe. For many years, young people graduating from university and college wear a black robe. What's this stuff with a black robe? Let me give you an example of how this stuff works, and it's a very quick example. There are two basic kinds of law under the law of magic. There are two kinds of laws that govern the earth. One is called the law of the land, L-A-N-D. And we've heard that term, law of the land. Why do you use that term, the law of the land? Because that's where people live, is on land. But there's an opposing law which is far more important, far, far more powerful. It is called the law of water. It was developed under the old Druidic system in Europe, which can trace its history back through the Roman Empire, through the Vatican, and ultimately back to the Phoenician Canaanites in the Middle East, of what we today call Phoenicia. Cana was called back what we call today Israel and Lebanon. Syria, that was called Phoenicia, Cana. And the Phoenician Canaanites, the very word Cana, which we've all heard in relation to the Bible, Cana is a Phoenician word meaning bankers, merchant bankers. Well, the Phoenician Canaanites set up a system of merchant banking and had their Phoenician Canaanite symbols and words connected to their societies, their banking societies. We're talking about in the Middle East. And then through the Greece and ultimately through Rome, and then into Britannia, and ultimately into this country comes an ancient Druidic Phoenician Canaanite magical system of finance, education, and all of it is right in front of you. But if you don't understand what the words are and what the words mean, you're never going to figure out how this stuff works. We all have a cursory understanding of what we think is going on. That's not it. You need to understand that when even on your check, when you're writing a check, the place where you put your name on a check, look at that line, what you're signing on, and get a magnifying glass, and you will find that's not a solid line to sign your name on. That is written, it's a typed written sentence that's been honed down to microscopic size.
Wow.
Get a magnifying glass and read on a check what is said where you sign your name. That's why the attorneys tell you, you better check the small print. The small print is ultra small. Where you sign your name on a check is saying something. Go back and read it. You need to understand that according to the old Phoenician Canaanite system, which we call today our judicial, educational and judicial system, there is no law in this country or in the Western world, no law, federal, state, county, city, commercial, it makes no difference. There is no law on the books anywhere in this country that applies to you as an individual creature.
Wow.
There is no law, because the people who designed the system thousands of years ago realized that there's two of you. There's the one that your mother gave birth to, that God created, so to speak, and even your mother didn't know what you were doing. Even your father and your mother have no idea what you're thinking or what you will do. You don't even know. So consequently, they have no control over you, your flesh and blood self. But somebody has to control this show, and so consequently, the ancient Phoenician Canaanites developed a system by which they would assign to every person a second you. And this is the way it works in America. There is two of you. Just as there are two states in this country, of every state is two states.
Called The World Is Not What
You have
You
the
Think.
state
Jerry
of
Maxwell.
Nevada and Nevada State. You have Cal State, California State, and State of California. Not the same thing at all. California State, according to the law, is one thing. State of California is totally different. Has nothing to do with each other at all. It's the difference between being a lawyer and an attorney. Has nothing to do with them at all. It's totally separate words, means totally separate things. Consequently, when you understand how words and terms are used and symbols are used, then we go back to the idea of the court. And as I said, there is no law in this country on any books that applies to you. None. All law in the Western civilization applies only to cooperations, co-ops. All law applies only to corporations, period. Across the board, no other, end of sentence. Consequently, there is no law that applies to you personally, so consequently, the system has made each one of you a corporation. And how now do you distinguish which one, when someone's addressing you, that they're addressing you as the one that your mother gave birth to, or the corporate you? Very simple. According to British law, when you signed your name, upper and lower case, that is applying to your body. Your flesh and blood self is spelled, according to British and American law, upper and lower case, capital letter, lower case. That's you, your personal self. There is no law that can be applied to an upper and lower case name, period. No law at all can be applied to an upper and lower case name because there is no law over you. Therefore, every piece of important bills, insurance, driver's license, identification, taxes, I don't care what it is. If it's a piece of business, period, in any kind of way, shape, or form, your name must, by law, international maritime admiralty banking law, your name must appear in all capital letters. You will never get a bill or anything that has your name upper and lower case because there is no law
Y'all make sure y'all
that applies
subscribe.
to an upper and lower case name, period. So if Sears is going to send you a bill, if you go into Baskin Robbins or Sears and you order a pair of shoes, what are you going to do? They're going to give you a ticket, and you're going to put it on your bill, and then they're expecting you to pay the bill. And consequently, they're going to charge you. Well, that's the same thing. You go into a courtroom. They're going to read out the charges. And the cop gave you the ticket, and you have been charged with speeding or whatever. And therefore, you have to pay the charge. Well, once you understand that in America, according to our laws in America, you cannot pay a bill. Did you know that? According to international banking law, Americans cannot pay a bill. So when you say, well, I got to pay this, I'll pay that bill, well, that's a term that we use, but in point of fact, lawfully, you cannot pay a bill. You can discharge a debt. You cannot pay a bill. So consequently, you need to understand, what do you mean discharge a debt? Now it gets back to the court again. Now it gets back to the symbols and emblems of why the judge wears a black robe. It has to do with the planet Saturn. Saturn is the god that inhibits. He's the inhibitor and the law god, the god of law who inhibits, who holds back. He holds back everything and teaches you a lesson the hard way. Saturn. And women were told in the ancient world to listen to their god Saturn, who incidentally was called Lord of the Rings. Okay? And consequently, they're still making movies in Hollywood on Lord of the Rings, the planet Saturn. Women were told to listen to their god, the Lord of the Rings, so they were wearing an ear ring. Men were to get married before Saturn, their god, so they would wear a wedding ring. Consequently, the king would be crowned before Saturn. Saturn would be the round crown or the corona, the ring. Saturn, the god who is the inhibitor, the god of occult law, the mystical god Saturn, Lord of the Rings, who is in charge of and controls all occult law in the universe. This is why today we know that Saturn was referred to as El, E-L. El is a name that was given to the planet Saturn. And therefore, if you are worshiping Saturn, you represent the law, you are referred to in church today as an elder. How did you get to be an elder? You got to be an elder because you were one of the elites. How did you get to be an elite? You got elected. Because through elections, all of our system is based on occult, mystical words and terms going back to the planet Saturn, going back to the Phoenician Canaanite system of banking. Incidentally, where do you find a bank? We go to banks all the time. Where do you find a bank? Banks are on both sides of a river. They're called river banks. What does a river bank do? It directs the flow of the currency. Your money is referred to as the currency. This is why when you go to court, you have the current, electricity, because it's the juice. And if you don't have the juice, you don't have it. So if you don't have the juice, you can't capitalize. And the capital is a Latin word meaning money. There's a very sinister frightening, interesting symbolism that has been imposed upon this country, and the people have no idea in the world what's going on. All goes back to the Phoenician Canaanite system and ancient Phoenicia, ancient Babylonian Sumeria, and this is why the work of Zecharia Sitchin is so important. This is where the kings of England get their concept of the divine right of kings. What are you talking about, divine right? All of this is
Jordan
part
Maxwell.
of a subject which I call ancient mysticism that dominates the Western civilization. After the change of the century, coming into 1900s,
Okay, y'all gotta go watch this video. I'm about to head off though, but this is deep. Again, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to the Mystery School. The link is in the chat. We're gonna get a lot deeper into this. All right, y'all. So make sure y'all subscribe to me here on YouTube. Make sure you guys join the Mystery School.